A100 with Konnan Disco is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is your number one source for the NBA and the NHL playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAD, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline. The game starts here. Konnan, did you watch Raw?
Yes, I did.
All right, so Raw opens up with Liv coming out. And she said it's a revenge tour is never as sweet as once you finally get it, but that's not the case for her. She boasted she took out Rhea and became the new champion. And she claims she put Becky Lynch in the early retirement, so the chair. Whoa, sorry. Sherry on top of all of it was kissing Dominic. They said the footage had over 40 million views in less than 24 hours. Is that true? I thought it was 15. Maybe it was 40. So Dominic comes out with his arm in a sling, and he tried to speak, and he's booed out of the building every time he tried to speak. Mammy isn't playing the same game. When she comes back, she's going to kill you, Dom said. And Morgan said, maybe. Then she's probably going to kill you, too.
It's not Mammy, it's Mommy.
Mommy.
Right.
Morgan promised that she would make it all worth it. Morgan asked how long he would keep lying to himself, and Morgan...
You know what Mammy is, right?
What's that?
Well, Mommy and Mammy are two different things. Mammy is like what they used to call house cleaners.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay. Oh, she's Mommy then, obviously.
All right.
But why they spell it Mammy then?
That's how it's spelled, but that's not, because it's a Spanish word, Mommy.
All right. Morgan said she meant what she said about taking everything away from Rhea, including Dom, and then backed on him in the corner. Then Balor came out and got between them and told her back off, said Dom doesn't want anything to do with her, nor does the rest of the Judgment Day. Morgan asked if Dom didn't want her to go. Asked if Dom didn't want her to go. Morgan said she would go now, but then dropped the mic and went to the apron where she rubbed Dom's hair, and Dom smiled for a moment. So what did you think of this?
A bit, you know how you always say abrupt ending, or what's the term you use? Awkward ending, or what is it that you always
awkward
say?
Out.
Awkward out. It was a little awkward out for me, but it's very interesting because where is this going?
Right.
You know, especially later on when Pat McAfee used a tele-illustrator, and you'll get to that.
Right. So Sheamus was interviewed, but this did not make it to Hulu, by the way. Sheamus is interviewed backstage, cut a promo on Kaiser. He makes his entrance, and Kaiser right out chop blocked him in the aisle. So they said they're like on an injury angle going into the match. Sheamus chopped Kaiser chopped Sheamus here. Sheamus marks all over himself. And he actually tweeted he was going to get a receipt. But they kept working the hurt leg, and he kicked the back of his leg and rolled him up and got the 3 count. So Kaiser goes over and got a much-needed win for his character. I guess it's going to start pushing now. What do you think of this?
Great booking here. That's the way to get him over, because Sheamus can take a couple losses, especially he was protected by the chop block. And I love the way, you know, they finding different ways of making entrances special, whether it's the Jey Uso thing that they do now, or, you know, this guy's walking out and all of a sudden this guy came running from the back, and just chop blocked him, which they used in the finish to protect him. And, they chopped each other, you know, and Kaiser's a little bit more of a technical wrestler. So even though they did chops and all that, they showed, you know, a little bit of technical wrestling with the other guy. The other guy is more of a, you know, powerhouse type of thing. And and he sold a lot for Kaiser. He did the job for him, makes Kaiser look good and believable. And Kaiser gets to look good without Gunther being the main attraction in his storyline. So well done. You know, and this is a great thing WWE does. They do factions, whether it's the Judgment Day or whoever it is. And then once they get a couple guys strong, they start peeling them off and they turn them into singles.
So backstage, Dominic told Balor and JD that he can't help the women who are into her, and he didn't do anything. And Balor said that's the problem, that he didn't do anything. He told him not to play with fire and get burned. Then Priest entered, asked him for an explanation. Balor said none was needed because the situation was taken care of. And Priest asked Dom if Rhea thinks it's taken care of. Dom said he's giving Ripley space, but everything is fine. Then Priest brought up his match with Rey Mysterio and said they should settle some scores and remind everyone the Judgment Day runs Raw. So this is how they do the thing now. So Dragon Lee makes his entrance and they go to commercial.
Okay. A couple of things. Number one, on Jason's POV, if any of them are interesting or funny, I'd like you to read them. And the second thing is, you know how they come in the beginning of the show where they showed them coming in dressed up, and, you know, how they've been doing at the beginning of the shows, the wrestlers coming in, dressed up, not in their ring gear.
Mm-hmm.
When the Judgment Day came on, not only does Dominic look a lot like Eddie Guerrero, but he's got such a boyish face that it looks like he's wearing a fake mustache. It looks ridiculous. Right.
Yeah. So they had a Dragon Lee video package, but also backstage, a trainer was checking on Ricochet's ribs. And then Dragunov showed up and said he understands that people like the two of them need to push themselves to the limit. But Dragunov wanted the Braun Breaker is wired differently. Ricochet said that he and Dragunov are wired differently. Ricochet said they could finish the rivalry after he faces Breaker. He wished him luck. So they do Dragon Lee versus Finn Balor. And basically, you know what happens here. Carlito shows up. McDonough shows up. Interference, Balor with the coup de grace. After the match, Braun and Rey Mysterio come out. Pat McAfee called Braun a big white because he got heat for calling Caitlin Clark a white recently. He said that because he didn't give a right. So McAfee said regarding Strowman, they called him the big white. Ray stayed at ringside while Strowman entered the ring and put down all three heels. It had one big shirt. Did you see that? I think you should. Yeah. Strowman chased down the Judgment Day members who all hopped the barricade and ran away. What do you think of this? Okay,
this has got to be a rib 1,000%. Again, they got Strowman running around. He looks like a big...
Well, he sets it up. He does like choo. It's like he's a train. You know?
That's kind of ridiculous. His running looks ridiculous. A man that size should not be running every week. People and what I did like about the interference, it's set up for interference later on in the show. It wasn't just gratuitous, you know? Yeah. And for the guy that wrote us and goes, oh, Braun Strowman, what would he do with him? He's not over. If you didn't see how over he is here, you know, you'll never see it.
Dynamite rating just dropped.
What did Jackson say about this?
We'll wait till we do this review.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So backstage, Damian Priest wants to know what's going on. He told McDonough that he thought they would have had the Strowman problem taken care of by now. But Priest told McDonough not to sweat it. He says, Carlito, if you want to play the prospect, you should ask Adam Pearce from against Strowman. So after they leave, R-Truth comes in the picture, talks to Carlito. Truth said he feels Carlito's pain. He said, being with the Judgment Day is like riding a roller coaster. They kick you when you're up or down, but those are the best days of his life. Then he showed the Miz standing there looking dumbfounded. And they said they're the tag team champions, and these should be the best days of your life. And Truth told Miz to let go of the Judgment Day, says he's obsessed with the faction.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was good. That was actually a funny spot for him. Yeah. They're not letting go of the Priest Truth thing. So
the booking right now is so great, man. It's just so wow.
Everything they're doing on the show, there's a little breadcrumb. Like they'll show characters talking to each other in the background.
I love that too.
It's everything is like, bro, it's good. You know,
it keeps you entertained. Just like I said, they're finding different ways of doing entrances. They're just keeping you always like, I can't miss this because something might happen. You know, like you know what I'm saying? There's always something going on. What were you going to say, Joe? Wow, what?
What do you call it? I like when they take the stuff off TV and do it right, like on Twitter or social media. The reason I'm saying that is Liv Morgan just went and liked every one of Dominic's Instagram posts. Like that's kind of funny.
No, they're using all their tools to tell stories. You know?
Very well done.
All right, so Zayn comes out and calls Gable out, but the Alpha Academy comes out instead. They have a message that they're going to read. They have a statement. The message mocked Zayn for thinking tournament students against him and also included shots at Dupree, Otis, and Tozawa. Gable's message said the only thing that happened between him and Zayn was with Zayn. Oh, by the way, Dupree is reading the message. Okay? Was given an Intercontinental title match. The Zayn agreed to defend the title against Gable at the Clash of Castle event, put his title belt down, and said he wanted to talk to Dupree, Otis, and Tozawa. Shane asked if the trio if they had enough of Gable. Zayn said he's been thrown before and they need to set themselves free. So then Gable comes in from behind him and attacks, gives him a German suplex and held him for Otis to hit, but Otis walked away. And Gable released Zayn and slapped Otis in the face. Tozawa pulled Gable away from Otis. Gable shoved Tozawa a few times and wound up to hit him. Dupree grabbed Gable's arm and stopped him from hitting him and pleaded with him to stop. Gable told Dupree to get down on her knees and beg him to stop. Dupree got down on her knees and begged. Gable told Dupree and Tozawa to get down on his ring, continue to bark at them once they're on the apron. But then, because he was being really mean to Maxine Dupree, Otis got in Gable's face. The crowd popped huge on everything they did here, too, again. Gable looked intimidated, and Zayn spun Gable around through punches at him. Then Gable ran Zayn toward the ropes, causing him to knock Dupree and Tozawa off the apron. Then Gable told Otis that Zayn was responsible for knocking Dupree off the apron, so Otis picked up Zayn and power slammed him. And then Otis left the ring and put Tozawa on his shoulders and carried Dupree away. Meanwhile, Gable stood over Zayn and posted the Intercontinental title. This Powell's POV, another great segment. The Alpha Academy drama has quickly become my favorite thing to watch on the show.
a little sappy, everybody's always sad and, but very well done. People are getting into it. And this is all setting up the moment when Otis,
right,
turns on this guy. Right.
And it was the most gained segment of the show. It gained 10%. Yeah, exactly.
Well, bro, this shows you that the good episodic storytelling draws interest in where they're going.
Right.
If, I want to see where this play. I want to see this storyline play out, right? So Raw general manager Adam Pearce is show looking frustrated while watching the Alpha Academy segment play out. Then Braun Breaker comes in behind him, told Pearce he would break Zayn in half. Breaker said he was there to congratulate Pearce and put him in the ring with real competition for a change. And Pearce said the only reason it was happening was because Ricochet asked for it. Pearce said Ricochet understands respect, and Breaker said he would teach Pearce and Ricochet about respect because Pearce didn't put him in the King of the Ring tournament. So then they go back. So Ricochet makes his entrance, and they go backstage again. This is also very simplistic, clever things they're doing. Is they don't give you a chance to change the channel. Like Ricochet makes his entrance, but then they go back still. Like he's coming to the ring, and if you're not interested in Ricochet, and you might want to change the channel there because maybe he's not that over. You can't change the channel because they go right back to this storyline. Right. So that's very think about that. I wonder how many times they do that. Or if it's a character that's kind of not really over that much, starts coming to the ring, but then they go back to another prominent storyline they're doing with a quick backstage segment, so you don't change the channel. I bet you people that watch the show don't even think about stuff like that, but I bet you that's what they're doing. So backstage, Gable approached Dupree, Otis, and Tozawa and praised them for their performance. Gable, he thinks they're all performing. That's a funny thing about this, right? Gable told Otis.
Oh, that was hilarious. He goes, yeah, great method acting. And she goes, I'm hurt. He goes, staying in character. Yeah, the other guy's like, I'm hurt too. Don't worry about it. You did a great job, and I love you too. And,
right. Yeah, it's great work. It's they're only selling.
Gable deserves this too. I've been saying for a long time he's underrated, and I'm glad he's getting his due finally.
Yeah. So they do Braun against Ricochet, and they really can't do a squash here because this is 3 weeks worth of storytelling. Okay, Ricochet did get a lot of offense in, but I like the way the announcers covered it. They said Breaker. They said Breaker can't get going in this match yet. Like they said, he just was because there's Ricochet's real fast, and finally he got a spot and clobbered him. Then Ricochet stopped and went up top for his thing, but Braun went up and gave him a Frankenstein and then a spear. So he could tell this is Rick and Scott Steiner's kid.
Exactly. I was going to say that. Yeah, that's a homage because Rick didn't do this Frankensteiner.
Right.
And bro, when he was in NXT, I was saying it. He's got it. He got the X factor, and he still does. I almost feel like Ricochet, which you and me disagree on this. I think if they would have let him fly, and even though you think, well, they don't want him to get hurt, he would have stood out. He hasn't stood out. He's been there a long time. He's one of the greatest high flyers. He'll go to AEW where they love that indie style, and he'll have great matches, but he won't be a big star because nobody ever is. And I almost feel like since he's leaving, they don't really care about him, I think.
Well, after the match, Breaker ran him into the ring. Zip was going to hit him with the steps again, but the referees, producers, security guys came out. But the Dragunov ran down, and Breaker threw the steps at him.
That was great.
And, Dragunov knocked Breaker over the barricade with his forearm. So they're going to be wrestling next week. But,
right.
Yeah, that was I would.
And that'll be
at a very risky spot. You're running.
That'll be a very, and that not only that, that'll be a very physical match. Watch. So
the lamest faction they had back here, the LWO is in the back, and Rey Mysterio and Selena Vega, who had purple hair. I don't know what's going on with that. They spoke with Dragon Lee. Mysterio said Lee looked great despite losing. Will get his payback. And Mysterio said Judgment Day claiming Run Raw doesn't include the LWO, and Ray said he would deliver that message to Damian Priest.
Well, one of the biggest problems here, besides that, they don't have good storylines like the Judgment Day. So they're like a mid-card act. The only guy that's really over is Ray, and they give him whack to say. They give Damian Priest cool to say, and he delivers it right.
So they go back. They show what's her name? Liv Morgan, the red carpet for the Bad Boys premiere, and show Martin Lawrence taking a picture with him. The McAfee did his telestrator bit where recapping the Liv Morgan Dominic thing that was actually really funny. So you just kind of got to watch that.
So the first 24 hours,
it's 54 million views.
Yeah. Well.
Yep.
So so Kiana James and Natalya. This didn't make the. Did I miss anything here? This didn't make it to Hulu.
Well, here's the thing. They bring these girls that even in NXT, I didn't think were that good. They might see something in them I don't. But like I said, when Dakota came in and this big thing from NXT, they've been pushing her for 2 years and she's done absolutely nothing and means absolutely nothing. I was right there. And hey, they may see something in these girls that I don't. And you're always one good storyline away from being a star. But I never saw anything in this Tiana James girl. Poor Natalia, she deserves better. She's always losing. She's like the gatekeeper now. I thought they were going to push her when we with Tamina, but it looks like they're going to finally do something with her because you'll see in the backstage and when you read it later. But you could see she had to slow down for this girl. I do not see her as being a big star at all, and I don't see her being a big star in the future. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'll give her a pass. So until they do something with her. So New Day got interviewed backstage about facing AOP, and they said, well, Cross was trying to do wouldn't work. So a lot of people tried to come between them, but they've all failed. They started doing their New Day rock split, and Cross showed up and interrupted them. So the power of positivity is dead. Kingston assumed Cross, but that didn't hit the way it once did. Kingston said that he and Woods do, and his boys would fight out tonight. And Cross stopped Woods and said he wouldn't have to follow Kingston around anymore after tonight. Good.
Cross is great in this. I've always said the should be in Hollywood. Like, you know, he was really good here, and for whatever reason, he hasn't clicked. But they believe in him because they see the same thing we do. You know, I've worked with some of the best wrestlers in history, and you know when somebody's special, and he is, and I think they know, and that's why they keep, you know, they haven't given up on him.
Well, he's a good actor for these backstage.
Right, he's a great actor, great facial.
He's got a movie coming out, doesn't he? Or he just rapped on it or something?
Yeah, he made that movie, but that's like an indie movie, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm talking about Hollywood.
Right.
So DeVille approached Natalia backstage and basically tried to she's trying to like recruit people, it looks like.
Right.
She approached Shayna Baszler, Zoe, and so did the Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. DeVille told not to do anything rash while adding that the more you try to get respect from everyone, the less you get. And Baszler said that she felt like DeVille was the only one who didn't respect him and told her to leave him alone. Interesting. So let's see what happens here.
Now your chair, it's so funny that people are like, DI sound. And now, like, you know, I fix it as best I can, but now your chair is going,
Oh, yeah, well, let's just quick hear that.
yeah.
All right.
Unlike your bed.
So Braun against Carlito was what you would Braun clobbered.
You like the trailer? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Braun clobbered Carlito, and then Balor McDonough, in a minute and a half, and Balor McDonough attacked him after the match and pushed him off and put them down the double clothesline. And Carlito went after Strowman and was about to slam to the mat when Dominic clipped Strowman's leg. Dom was no longer wearing his sling and struck Strowman with a chair. And Strowman no-sold the chair, went after Dom at ringside, then lit right out and stood in front of Dom. Then the other Judgment Day members went after Strowman, and McDonough battered Strowman with a chair and continued to do so while Balor and Carlito held in place. Then at ringside, Morgan walked towards Dom, who backed up on the apron. Then Balor rushed to ringside and got between him again. And Morgan laughed and backed away. So they continued with the story, even on this show. They're trying to show they're getting, but like they're building up to them kissing again, obviously. Right, is where this is going, you know. And then Balor's trying
to get a huge pop.
Yeah, Balor's trying to stop it. Like, it's pretty funny. You know?
Going to get a huge pop if this happens, because I know that Rhea's trying to rehabilitate her shoulder, but if she can't rehabilitate it, she's going to get surgery and she'll be out 8 to 9 months.
Right.
But she doesn't need to obviously wrestle.
They expect her back for SummerSlam, so this is building up for SummerSlam. But she's going to work through her injury, but if she gets messed up, she'll have to get surgery. So she's. But
what's going to be great, because they do this really good, they bring back people when you least expect it, is when maybe Dominic and Liv are together, maybe about to kiss as she comes out. That place will go crazy.
I organized a training session yesterday for Dom to get back in shape at the
right.
So I had him looking out with him and Bay would worked out the week together for a little bit. So so they showed Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill walking backstage. They make their entrances and spoke inside the ring, and Belair said they would defend the titles of SmackDown or Raw. Cargill know they had a special invitation and called out Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, who obliged for making their appearance in their entrance. Baszler accused the champions of ducking her and Stark, and Cargill called for the match to happen. So Adam Pearce came out to booze and actually booked the immediate title match. So they have a match, and they go to a no contest because Isla Dawn and Alba Fire ran in and attacked Belair for the apparent no contest. Carmen tried to help her partner, was quickly outnumbered as the four heels worked over the champions and left them laying. He'll eat. Any comment on this?
Not really interested, because I can never see anybody beating these two superheroes, especially those four. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I'm not really into it. I don't see, again, like the Blair Davenport or the other girl, the Jane, what was the girl that beat Natalia?
Kiana James.
Yeah, I think there's way more talented girls in NXT, and I don't see them being big deals. They may see something in them I don't. Same thing with Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, even though I think Alba Fire by herself might be good, but this is kind of, and you can see how they protect Cargill, because she's obviously still not ready when they give the hot tag to Belair, because she's so athletic and so charismatic, but Cargill's still green. She did this one kick where she jumped over somebody and kicked her, but that looked super stiff. They threw into the stairs and she went there almost scared. Yeah, but they're protecting her.
So Priest is interviewed backstage saying he's going to be done with Dom's father after tonight. So Drew interrupted the interview, said Priest seemed like he was happy. Priest said he's the world champ, so every day he's happy. Priest asked McIntyre how his life was going, and McIntyre said his life will be good in less than 2 weeks. And McIntyre told Priest to enjoy his time because this is as high as Priest will ever go in the industry. McIntyre says personal, and he'll be seen him real soon. It's kind of weird. They really haven't used Drew that much on the shows the past couple of weeks, just a couple of appearances.
But he does great at
it. Right. But I'm just saying, it's a weird way for him. You think he'd be more than focused more, right? So Jay Uso's music.
I think that because he's so over, they don't need to do a lot with him because the little things he's doing are effective.
Right. So basically, Jay Uso comes out and cuts a promo in the crowd, announces that he's going for the money he's going to try to become the Mr. Money in the Bank. And the only thing, like this promo, the only thing it really accomplished was a really cool visual of him in the crowd cutting a promo amongst the people and all that, showing how over he is.
Right.
You know, like he didn't really say much. She just kind of like, basically was just kind of a basic generic promo that said he's going to become Mr. Money in the Bank. You know,
right. But the people love him. The people love him and make for good TV with all the lights coming out like they used to do for
right.
What was this guy's name that passed away?
But Blair,
Bray Wyatt. You know, it's just, man, he's in the middle of the fans. Right. Different, you know, it's very different. Like that's what I like. They're doing so many different cool things when you thought you have seen everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So next is Lyra Valkyria was back there. They're cutting a promo. She's talking about Lich. She said she didn't think they would have to watch Liv Morgan as woman's champ for long. So she's learned that she could walk on her own 2 feet and sort of talk about Money in the Bank. And Io Sky burst in the picture and just attacked her.
Bro, Io Sky gave her a whooping, bro. And I love the fact that she went nuts and was throwing. That was very well done. But this Lyra Valkyria, good wrestler, really good wrestler, but same thing. And when I saw on NXT, I thought girls are more worthy of being brought up, and I don't really see much in her, but they obviously do because they've given her a really big push fast.
Right. So basically, the next they do the AOP versus the New Day. This is the only purpose of this match is for the spot at the finish.
Right.
Where Scarlett distracts the referee, Cross walks over and draws Kingston off the apron. Woods is selling and goes for the tag, but since Cross drew him off the apron, he's on the floor and is not there. The moment they hit the finish on Woods for the win. So it's just, you know, they're just like they're sowing some distrust between the two is what.
Right. And this is almost like a squash too, basically.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Well, you didn't have to have a long match for this,
right? I know you're right.
I really want to do, yeah. So they interviewed the Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. They mentioned the class of the cast, so they would take their chances rather than wait for opportunities. So that's why they attacked them. Let me see. So then we have the championship match, and I mean, no, they're not there were the soul of the planet Earth that thought Rey Mysterio was going to win this match, but for some reason, the fans were really into the false finishes, which I thought was I was shocked, right? Because
all those fans in that stadium grew up watching Rey.
Right.
You know what's incredible? I read this, dude. I didn't know this, and I'm sure Joe does, but I didn't. That Damian Priest has been around for is this correct, Joe? 20 years?
Yeah. But he's he took a break for a while, and then when he went back to the Monster Factory, that's when he was encouraged to really get back into shape and make a go of it, you know.
Bro, and he's 41. He don't look it. And so but all those people grew up watching Rey and they love him.
All right. So the finish, basically all the everybody, the LWO and in the
Right.
Judgment Day are interfering.
Which made sense from the attacks from before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But it leads to all the commotion to Priest beating him with his finish.
Right.
After the match, McIntyre comes in, attacks Priest from behind, and picked up Priest in the Future Shock DDT. So he kips up and picks up the World Heavyweight Championship belt and looked at it, and he tossed the belt down and counted down for his Claymore kick, and he thought this was going to be heat on him, but then he had to turn his focus to Balor, Carlito, McDonough. Then they rolled to the floor and looked at Priest was on the apron, and McIntyre cleared the broadcast table, and McIntyre barked at Cole for calling him a hypocrite. The McIntyre turned around, Priest chokeslammed him through the broadcast table, and they stood over him to end the show. So we got the heat on him.
Yeah.
I guess, when is the Clash of the Castle? This weekend or next
2 weeks, they said.
Yeah, so next weekend. Yeah,
Right.
2 weeks.
But that was a great way to end the show.
Right.
And again, you don't need to put him, overexpose him, or put him in too many things, because every little thing that Drew's doing is interesting. You know, I like the way they did this. I mean, this week, I like Raw. I'll tell you why, because there was a lot of storyline development. You know, the matches weren't that good with the exception of Kaiser and Sheamus. But, you know, Alpha Academy got some airtime. The Final Testament got some airtime. The Judgment Day, the LWO, all the girls, you know, so there was a lot of character development and progression.
All right. So, this is right. This is good. I like I like the way the show is formatted every week. We can argue the content, but it's still episodic TV, and I don't know what's going to happen. And I have no clue what they're doing the next week with these angles, which is exactly what you want when you're watching episodic soap opera.
Right.
Which is what the show is. So it's good show. I like it. So that's been a Raw review.
Boom. Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.